up, everybody? It's your girl Chanté, back with another episode of Chatting with Chanté. How in the world are y'all doing? Me, I am doing fabulous. So as y'all can see from the title, we are back with another movie review. Listen, Lifetime is like, listen, babies, for Black History Month, we're gonna give y'all some good movies to watch, okay? So y'all know last weekend we had the premiere of Single Black Female with Raven Goodwin and Amber Riley. Listen, if you haven't seen my review on that one, please go check it out. That movie had me on the edge of my seat the whole time, like, oh, this girl is crazy, all right? So then this weekend, or this past weekend, they gave us the premiere of Line Sisters. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when they were showing us all the movies that they had coming out this month, and I saw Line Sisters, I was like, ooh, another Greek movie. Okay, like another Black sorority, fraternity movie. Okay, how is this one going to be different from the other ones? Okay, because you know we have our School Days, our Stomp the Yards. I want to say one of the last ones, at least from my knowledge that I've seen, is Stepsisters. Okay, and I actually do like that movie with Notori Nod and some other people. I actually enjoyed that movie, but I was like, okay, how is this one going to be different from the rest of them? Baby, they shut me up. They told me mind your business and watch and see. I said, my bad. So, disclaimer, if you haven't seen the movie just yet, I would highly advise that you pause this, go watch the movie, and then come back so that way I won't ruin anything for you. But if you watched the movie already or you just don't care about spoilers, continue to watch. So let's go ahead and get started. Get your snacks, get your drinks, prop your feet up and get comfortable, and let's get it. Let's go. So this movie stars so many different people. So we have Taronda Jones, Drew Sidora, Kiera Sheard, and LaToya Luckett. They are our main characters in this movie, and they are the Line Sisters in this organization. Now, I'm going to try to call them by their character names, but it's just so much easier for me to call them by their actual names, so please forgive me. But basically, the movie starts off the night they're about to be initiated into this sorority, okay? They made it this far. They're right there at the finish line, and they got to go through a couple more things before they, officially get not promoted, but initiated in. So it was actually 5 of them, okay? It was those 4 and then another girl named Brienne. Now, as they're lined up in the little room or whatever, the DP, Jody, she's like, one of y'all lied about something, okay? And our organization doesn't stand for lying, okay? We're all about character and courage and stuff like that. So, Brienne, on your application, your interview, you said that you were a legacy member, but you ain't. So what's that about? So Brienne is like, well, yeah, I may have said that, but I'm this close. Listen, I'm sorry, but y'all know how bad I want this. Like, y'all have my back, talking to everybody else. Y'all have my back, please, please, please. And Joey's like, girl, hush, save your tears and get to stepping, okay? So she gets kicked off the line before they even, finish the whole process. But she's like, please don't do this to me. Like, she's literally begging to, be able to stay in because she's made it thus far. But because she lied about something that's very important, in the application process and the interview process, they kicked her out. So she got kicked out, they escorted her out, and that was that. Now for the remaining 4, they took them down to the river or whatever. So everybody left out, and Jody has them, and she's, having them lined up blindfolded, and they're chanting things. And then the rest of the members, I'm assuming, was setting up the like celebratory table, for when they come back, like, hey, welcome to the sisterhood, whoop, 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 whoop. Well, that's not exactly how it went. So they get down to the river, okay? Now, this is where, the tradition takes place, where this is the final thing that y'all must do, so that way y'all are officially a part of the sisterhood. So they call it, like, crossing the troubled waters or whatever, something like that, like crossing the burning sands, but more, crossing the troubled water. So basically, they're at this, like, river, and there's, like, a dock or a bridge or something, across the way. So you swim across to it, and you make it, and boom, you're there. But something happened some years back where they did that, but someone drowned. I'm not quite sure if they died or if they just drowned and they got rescued. I'm not really sure, but someone drowned and someone's life was put at risk, or they potentially died. So they stopped doing that. Now they have the cup. I cannot think of the actual name. I don't know why, but Jody, she has the cup and she dips it into the nasty river water, and she's like, here, take a sip from this and you are officially a part of the sisterhood. So everybody's like, yes, sip and pass. Yes, everything's good, until we get to Simona, who is played by Taronda Jones. She's like, we didn't pay all this money, go through all of this for months at a time. We didn't make it this far just for us to half behind it. Like, no, I want the full experience. I want to have my full respect as like a made, respected member. I don't want to be a paper member. I don't want to take the easy way out. No, I want to do the full thing. So everybody looking at her like, girl, she just said somebody almost died in this river. Why do you want to put us at risk? And LaToya Luck is like, girl, if you don't shut up and drink this water so we can call it a day. And so Jody's trying to explain to her, listen, it's too dangerous. Just take this, take a sip from it. It'll be the same thing. You'll still have your respect. You'll still be, a actual member. Like, you'll be good. So Simona, she's like not feeling it, but she drinks. But she's like, no, that's not good enough. So she goes and she jumps in the river and she starts swimming. So because she does that, that causes everybody else to do the same thing. And Jody's like, girl, what are y'all doing? Y'all don't have to do this or whatever. So they're swimming, everything's good. But the thing is, Cassandra, who is played by Kiera Sheard, her character, she can't swim. She jumped herself in this deep river and can't swim. So she gets a long way or whatever. And she's like, help me, y'all. Help me, help me, help me. So they all turn back and help her. And then Jody goes in and she helps as well. So they all swim to the other side. And now they have crossed the troubled waters. They are members. They have made it. Woo, woo, woo. We did it. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes. But where's Jody? Jody, where is Jody, baby? So LaToya Lucky, she goes under and she's looking for Jody. Drew Sidora, she goes under, she's looking for Jody. Everybody's looking for Jody, and Jody's nowhere to be found. Now, at first they're thinking she's gonna pop up and be like, "Psych, gotcha, hey, welcome to the sisterhood." But after 5 minutes of looking for Jody and Jody doesn't pop up, it's like, okay, now this is serious. What was supposed to be a fun time has turned to a possible crime scene, okay? So while they are almost giving up hope on looking for Jody and they realizing, oh snap, she might be dead, Simona's like, okay, y'all, we can't say nothing to nobody. Please promise me y'all won't say nothing to nobody, because if the police get involved and stuff like that, we can go down, the whole organization can be at fault. Like, please, no. And this is what causes the 15-year feud between Simona and LaToya Luckett's character, Valerie, because Valerie was very sick and tired of Simona at that point. She was like, you know what? Every time we get into some mess, it's always because of you. We always got to do what you say. We were all happy with taking a sip of the nasty creek water. It was you who wanted to jump in and do all this, okay? Now, let me just insert myself real quick. Me, Chanté, let me insert myself real quick. I don't care what Simona would have been whining about, okay? If Jody would have told me all I gotta do is take a sip from the nasty creek water, here you go. Ain't no arguing, ain't no debate, ain't no fussing. Now, Simona, get out my face. You can swim. And when you make it back, I'm a high five. You did that, sis. I watched you the whole time, baby. And I made this tweet. I was like, I would have been the only one standing there on dry land. Y'all know the episode of SpongeBob, land creatures versus sand creatures, or land creatures or water creatures, whatever they called it. Yeah, I would have been a land one. Okay, do you understand me? I would have been sitting there just like this. It sure is a beautiful night out here. Yep. Like, waiting for them to come back, because no, it wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. Simona would have been on her own with the lizards and the tadpoles. It would have been her. But anyway, so fast forward, after Simona saying all that, LaToya's like, listen, girl, I am done with you, okay? Our DP is potentially dead, okay? All because you had to do too much. You did the most as usual. I'm done with you. I'm cutting all ties with you. Get out my face. And I was like, well, all right. And she meant it for 15 years. She meant it. So fast forward, we get to this candlelight vigil held for Jody by the other members of the sorority. And the other president, or I'm not really sure the proper name, so I'm not even going to disrespect nobody by trying to make up names. But the other girl who was bringing the line in, she was basically saying, listen, we can either be angry at God for what happened, or we can celebrate Jody's life. And I'm choosing to celebrate her life, okay? Justice will be served, blah, blah, blah. But it was the way she looked at LaToya and the rest of the girls, like, because it looks real suspicious. Jody was perfectly fine moments before, and then when she disappears, it's because she was around y'all. So what happened? You know what I'm saying? It looks real suspicious, okay? And we're going to see how everybody else feels throughout the movie. But we get there, and I'm just like, so we know for sure she dead? Like, because we didn't see no body being recovered. We didn't see no funeral. Like, so we know for sure she's dead. Okay, all right. But it did raise some eyebrows throughout the movie. Like, okay, is she the one who's still here? Like, lurking around stalking them, or is it somebody else? You know what I'm saying? It raised a lot of questions and suspicions. But whatever. So we end that, and now we get 15 years later. So 15 years later, LaToya Luckett's character, she's an attorney, like a divorce attorney or whatever, and she's representing Kiera Sheard's character, because Kiera's going through this nasty divorce with this crazy man named Mitch. He's yelling across the courtroom, cussing her all types of out, okay? Showing his behind in front of the judge. And the judge is like, you need to sit down. I'm rooting in favor of Latoya and Kiera and Drew Sidora, like all of them, okay? So 15 years later, those three ladies are still well in contact. They're cool. It's Simona who's not a part of the clique anymore due to whatever. So they're all excited because they have their Black Greek weekend coming up and they want to get their mind off of anything that's stressing them out. So we get to the Black Greek weekend, day one. They having fun. They're strolling. I'm not gonna lie to you, baby. That stroll had me cracking up. And it wasn't so much the fact their stroll had me cracking up. It was a tweet that somebody made about it, and it had me crying, laughing, y'all. Like, listen, I love when there's like a Black event going on and it causes all of us to be talking about it at the same time on Black Twitter. Black Twitter is such an experience. I'm so glad to be a part of it. But anyway, so we're at day one, okay? We're at the bar, we're sipping, we having fun, we making eyes with the guys. Yes, if you know who sung that, okay, and what song she sang it in, you a real one. But anyway, so we get there, we're having fun, and they notice that there's two ladies sitting on the other side, mugging the mess out of them, just looking them up and down, just disgusted. But they're paying it no mind. And then Kiera announced that she got invited to go on a yacht with these fellas. So before they go on the yacht, Latoya's like, okay, girl, we're gonna go on the yacht, but I gotta pee real quick. So as she's making her way through the lobby, she's like, is that Mitch? So she's walking around trying to see. And while she's trying to get close to somebody who looks like Mitch, somebody grabs her shoulder, and it's one of the ladies who was mugging them earlier on. And she basically asks Latoya, baby, how can you sleep with yourself knowing what y'all did 15 years ago? And I was like, well, what did y'all do 15 years ago? What she know that we don't know? Tell us something. But Latoya paid it dust mites, okay? So they get on the yacht, I suppose, and then they go on to where they're going to be staying for the weekend. Now, why they had to get a whole secluded house way far across the beach, away from everybody else and where the festivities were held, is beyond me. But whatever. So they get to their house, a very nice, large, beautiful house, a very nice area, beach house or whatever. So they get in there, they looking around, and then the phone rings. No, not their cell phone, the landline. Baby, let me tell you something. One more thing about Chanté. I don't even answer unknown or unrecognizable phone numbers on my personal cell phone. If I'm staying at an Airbnb or somebody renting their house and letting us stay for the weekend and they landline rings, baby, I'm not even thinking about it. I don't hear it. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Can you hear me now? No, I can't because I'm not answering the phone. But Latoya, like, it took it upon herself to answer the phone. It wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. But anyway, so she answered the phone. Hello, how y'all doing? We've made it. And someone's just breathing heavy on the phone. I'm like, is it Rick Ross? What's going on? Why can't I hear nothing? And she just, hello, what, hello? And then she hangs up. And then we see this shadowy figure, not even a shadowy figure because it's still broad daylight. We see this person dressed in all black with a little Halloween mask on, just standing right there in the big naked bay window. Like, how they don't be seeing these folks? Like, I know it's a movie, but honey, like, you can just feel when somebody's watching you. Is it just me? Am I just extra? Oh, am I showing? Oh, excuse me, y'all. I got real comfortable. But anyway, like, I don't know how she did in broad daylight. They ain't got no curtains, no blinds on the window, just right there. Whatever. So, but when we get to Drew Sidora, she goes to her room that she claimed, that she's taking in the view. Oh, this is beautiful. Yes. Side note, I love Drew Sidora's character in this movie. You can tell she was, I mean, I'm pretty sure they were all the same age, but you can tell she was like the youngest one, you know, like the youngest sister, like the silly, bubbly one to have a good time. I loved her character. She was so cute. But anyway, so she lays back on the bed just to relax and unwind for a little bit. And she's like, now, what's going on? What's going on? Baby, don't you know when she flipped back the comforter, it was one of these? No. When she turned back the comforter, it was a snake. And don't you know nobody grabbed their suitcases to go back to the island or wherever everybody else was? Baby, that would have been more than enough for me. One more thing about your girl Chanté. You ain't gotta do too much for me to be like, you know what? This ain't my environment. The Lord is not a part of this. We haven't been in the house 20 minutes and it's already somebody prank calling us. And there's a snake. And the way the snake was, like I said, the snake was underneath the comforter set, babies. Okay, the bed was perfectly made. Okay, they're all the way upstairs. How does a snake get all the way up there? I know they can crawl up there, but even a snake would be like, baby, this is too much. I gotta get up the stairs and tuck myself in. No, that's too much for me. Somebody has to pick me up and put me in here. That's exactly what happened, and nobody made it a point to try and, you know, run for their lives. So they call the exterminator, whatever. They had them check out the whole house. Everything else is good. It was just the one little snake. That's all it would have took for me. Just that one snake. And everybody else on Twitter said the same thing. Baby, that's it. It would have stopped at the snake. Y'all, I would have had a cameo appearance, okay? I wouldn't have even been a full character. I would have had a cameo appearance. Hey, how y'all doing? Yes, a snake. I'm going to see y'all in the rolling credits. Chanté White. That would have been me. Honey, I wouldn't have to see nothing else that was going on in the rest of the movie. The snake would have been enough for me. But anyway, so now they're talking and catching up. And they're like, well, since nobody is getting up to go fix dinner, how about we order in? Y'all want some Chinese food? Yes. So some moments go by and their food gets delivered. Now, the DoorDasher or the Uber Eats person, they were like, I'm still social distancing, okay? Because when LaToya Luckett went to go get the food, this is the door. The food is way over here. I was like, dang, okay. So she grabs the food and they start to eat and things like that. They're having a good old time. And then Drew Sidor, she looks down at Kiera Sheard's bowl and she's like, what's that? Baby, me and Kiera both said, huh? Drew Sidor said, girl, what's that? Don't you know in Kiera Sheard's bowl of Chinese noodles, it was a bunch of worms? Baby, oh, it was a bunch of them, not just one, even though one would have been well more than enough for me to sue everybody in this town and burn the whole establishment down. But it was like 99% worms, 1% Chinese noodles. Like, that was all it was. And listen, sis was going to town, okay? And when they realized what it was, Kiera starts throwing up, they start throwing up, everybody's sick. Don't you know they didn't go back home? Don't you know they went to the grocery store? Meaning they were still planning on staying in the house that was trying to kill them in various different ways? It wouldn't have been me. One thing about your girl Chanté, it wouldn't have been me. I'm gonna keep saying this because I want y'all to know. Anyway, so we get to the grocery store, right? Ooh, my nose itch. We get to the grocery store and they're cutting up, they getting stuff that they want to use to cook with and stuff like that. And then they get confronted by this group of women. Now, I'm assuming these women are from a different sorority. And the other two women from earlier, before they got to their house that was mugging them, I thought they were from a different sorority as well. Because, you know, sometimes the organizations may have like the little family, not family, but like a friendly feud or whatever, you know. But turns out those first two ladies, which we find out later, are actually from the same sorority, but everyone's kind of shunning them. You know, it's like ostracizing them. Like, you know, that whole night what happened to Jody and she was last seen with y'all and she turns up dead while she's with y'all. It doesn't sit right with our spirits. So we want to, you know, disassociate from you, okay? Yeah. So these three ladies, I'm assuming they were from a different organization. If anyone knows differently, let me know. But they're basically like, I'm surprised y'all showed y'all's faces here. Okay, knowing what y'all did 15 years ago, y'all shouldn't even want to be around here. You better watch your back because karma is a bitch. And they're going back and forth and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, well, baby, everybody here is putting this blame on Jody's death on all of y'all. So what's going on? So then we get back to the house. We're about to put the groceries up. And while we do that, we hearing all this water running. We get to the kitchen and somebody got the whole floor is soaked, okay, flooded because someone was in the house and left the water running, bleached all their stuff. Now, the girl from earlier, you know, she got kicked off the line because she lied about being a Legacy member. But LaToya Luckett's character, she actually is a Legacy member. So the sweater that got destroyed was the sweater her grandmother had when she crossed. Then she passed it down to her mother when she crossed, and then her mother passed it down to her. That got ruined. Some of Kiera's stuff got ruined. Some of Drew Sidor's stuff got ruined. Do y'all love how I'm calling them by their actual names instead of their character names? Honey, I can't. Their names are too, like, well known not to call them by their real names. But anyway, so boom, they're doing all that, and then they go upstairs to see if somebody is still in this house, because now the wheels are kind of turning. Oh wait, there was worms in our food, snakes in our bed, now our stuff is ruined. Maybe somebody's out to get us, even though we're still staying in the house an hour and a half later. It's beyond me. But anyway, so they get upstairs, they checking out the scene and stuff like that, and while they're up there, they hear another noise. So they go back downstairs, and who up in there? Simona eating their food and in their refrigerator, and she cleaned up the mess and stuff like that. Now, mind you, they asked if anyone heard from Simona while they first got to event. And Latoya was like, girl, y'all know doggone well I'm not talking to her. And Kiara was like, well, I talked to her, or I texted her, but she never texted me back, but whatever. So everyone's happy to see her except for Latoya. She's like, girl, who invited you? Like, ain't nobody even want you here, basically. And Simona's like, girl, you invited me. Like, why you acting stank? You're the one who sent me the message saying y'all miss me, y'all want to turn up, and you know it's a good time to reunite and blah blah blah. So she shows Latoya the text messages, and Latoya's like, girl, now you know doggone well I don't even like you like that to write you no message like that. Don't even get it twisted. But anyway, so time goes on and they end up calling the police. Now Kiara and Drew Sidora, they talking to the police, and the white police officer, I wasn't a fan of her. She had a stank attitude. It was getting racism. She was like, listen, we don't really want to deal with y'all because this is y'all's little Greek weekend, and every time this goes down, there's always some pranks going on. So everything that's going on is probably a prank. So please don't call us unless it's an actual emergency. Like, please shut up. Do not talk to us. And I'm like, dang, okay. And while they're talking to the police, Latoya Luckett and Simona, they're outside trying to figure out what caused the whole situation with them, like what's going on. So on Simona's point of view, she's like, listen, you're saying that, you know, y'all always have to follow my lead, but it was the other way, baby girl. We always gotta do what you say. You're the boss, you're the leader, and we always gotta do what you say. You think you're so perfect and blah blah blah. And Latoya Luckett's like, listen, we wouldn't be in any of this mess if it wasn't for you and your attitude, and you just couldn't appreciate what we had to do. You had to take it an extra mile. You couldn't, you know, be grateful and blah, blah, blah. So they both agreed to just stay out of each other's way for that whole weekend. I was like, well, okay. So, boom. So they stay up talking and they're in the bed. Well, before we get to there, sorry. So then they end up cooking because that was the whole reason why they went to the grocery store. So they're cooking and stuff like that. And then Drew starts eating out of the pot, like to taste test and stuff like that. But she keeps eating. I'm like, well, girl, what did y'all make? So they're, you know, laughing at her. And then she starts feeling funny. And she starts getting woozy. And then she passes out. And I'm just like, can we have a commercial break before another event happens? Like, what's going on? And they like, girl, what's going on? And Latoya looked at Simona like, I'm like, now Latoya, you can't sit up here and talk about, because mind you, when they came home and the water was running and stuff like that, Latoya was like, girl, did you do this? She accused Simona for the whole bleached water fiasco. So then when Drew Sidora passes out from eating her own cooking, Latoya looked at Simona like, I will kill you if you tried to kill this girl. I'm like, she just got in the house. She was with y'all the whole time. So that was a little confusing to me. Like, okay, because weren't y'all all in the grocery store? Like, surely Drew Sidora wouldn't pick up ingredients that she knows she's allergic to. But whatever, she has her EpiPen and she's good to go. But when they fast forwarded to them in the bed, and they were just up reminiscing about college, baby, Drew looked like Raven Baxter when she ate that mushroom. And I was on the floor. I was like, Drew, what is wrong? But whatever, they're in the bed, they're talking. And the way the camera view was, oh my gosh. Because this movie was so crazy, the way the camera was going up, I promise you, I thought somebody was lying on the roof, on the ceiling above the bed. I promise you, I thought that, just because of the way everything was going, baby. But anyway, but somebody was in the house though, because they just walked by the door like, they're sleeping. Okay. I was like, nah, this is getting scary. I can't do this. So we wake up the next day and Drew eyes still swollen, but she wants to turn up. Okay. So apparently there's like this club, but there's this party going on later that night. So they getting ready, they're catching up, blah, blah, blah. And they head on out. But before they head out, Latoya's like, listen, because it's too much going on, let us make sure all the doors are locked, everything is good and closed before we head out, so that way nobody can get in. Beautiful, perfect idea. So everyone splits up and, you know, does that. They all have one job to do. We get to Drew Sidora, and this is where I would have voted Drew and her swollen eyeball off the island. She goes upstairs and she is either in a bathroom or somewhere, and it's one of those windows where you push it down and then there's like a little blind door situation, like a double blind door that you close as well. So she couldn't get the actual window closed, okay, but she closed the blind door. She just did that, and then she went to the club. And I'm just sitting here, And this is why people throwing worms in y'all food right now. Y'all giving them easy access. This is why people bleaching y'all clothes, baby, because y'all leaving the doors open. This is why people throwing snakes in your pillowcases, baby, because y'all just leaving everything open. But they head to the club. I digress. They head to the club, right? They're having a good old time, okay? Kiara's flirting with this young man. She having a good old time. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And then Mitch pops up. Mitch, remember her crazy soon-to-be ex-husband or ex-husband. He talking about something, why are you out here being a thought? This ain't over. You'll never get custody of my baby, you B-word, and blah, blah, blah. So her girls come to her rescue like, you better get up out her face. I told you I saw his crazy behind over there earlier. You better get out her face. You ain't gonna do nothing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, great. So then the two ladies from earlier who was mugging them while they were strolling at the bar, they come up to them and they just like, ew, y'all disgust us, we don't like y'all. Simona's like, girl, we're sisters, shut up. So then we realize they're actually from the same sorority, but I'm assuming they didn't cross at the same time, but whatever. So then before they leave, Kiara was like, baby, I gotta go use the bathroom. So she goes by herself. What red flag is this? I don't even know what red flag this is. It's just too many to count. But anyway, I don't know if it's just me and my girls and the way that we have club etiquette. But if one of us had to go to the bathroom, baby, we all had to go to the bathroom, or a good chunk of us, okay? That's the main thing. You don't let your homegirl go nowhere by herself, okay? At no club. Especially while there's killers throwing snakes in your boots, okay? At this point, no, y'all need to be together at all times. No need to split up. No need to split up. But she goes to the bathroom by herself. Don't you know when she got to the bathroom, it was dark, dusty, cold, and deserted? Baby, wasn't nobody in that bathroom. Now, ladies, even fellas, because, you know, I'm pretty sure y'all can tell when y'all go to y'all's bathroom. But ladies, think of all the times you've gone to the club. How many of those times was the bathroom empty or very, very vacant? Very slim chance. No. The ladies' room, listen, the dance floor is packed, but the second most packed place is the ladies' room, okay? That's where we regroup. That's where we take our flicks. That's where we gossip about who's out there. That's where we do all other stuff, okay? And some other things. Well, not other things. But yeah, when we talk about other things that I'm not going to discuss on here because it's ladies only. Y'all know. But no, that was a red flag. Like, no, I need one of my girls to be up in here with me. So anyway, she goes in the stall, she handles her business, and then she gets locked in there. And she's locked in there for a good few minutes. I'm just like, what? So she tries to crawl under there and she gets back up. And then she's like, help me, help me, help. And then there's water coming. And I'm like, is this an attempt to try and drown her? It's going to take a minute. The way the water's run, this going to be what? I was kind of, it was a blur. It was a blur. I'm sorry. But after a while, okay, Latoya Luck, if she comes in there and somehow, some way, Kiara's able to get her stall open. I don't know what was preventing her from doing it before, but whatever. She runs out of there all disheveled, okay? She don't grab her belongings. She don't wash her hands. She does nothing for us. And Latoya's like, girl, you didn't grab whatever. So they're in the taxi heading back to the Hell House. And Drew Sidoro's like, girl, what is that smell, baby? Oh, no. And Latoya and Simona, they kind of exchange words because Simona felt like, you know, Latoya didn't really have her back in one of those altercations or whatever. So as they're talking and discussing things, there's a car right behind them. Like, this is them. This is the car. Okay, just like real close up on their bumper. And even the taxi driver, he was noticing it. He was like, ladies, I think y'all got some company. Do y'all know them? And they're looking like, girl, who was that? No. And while they're trying to figure out what's going on, the car rear ends them. And like, oh, no, baby, if it would. First of all, I can't say if it would have been me because I wouldn't have made it that far. With all the string of events that has gone on this far, I wouldn't have been, baby, the way I would have checked myself into a different hotel across the way where everybody else was staying. Again, I don't know why they had to stay in a, so, did I mention that the house they stayed in was called the Plantation? All right. So, listen, that would have been my first. You booked us at the what? The Plantation. And we black? During Black History Month? Do you, baby, do you. I'm gonna go to the hotel where everybody else is at, where all the events are taking place. You can stay over here, but I'm gonna be over here. Baby, I wouldn't have been with them. I really wouldn't have been with them. But anyway, so the car keeps hitting them and then hits them on the side and runs them off the road and speeds off. And the cab driver, I was with him. Listen, I was with the cab driver, okay? Because I don't know what's going on. I just picked y'all up from the club and I'm taking y'all home. I'm not trying to do too much else more, okay? So he's like, listen, I'm going to charge y'all extra for a hazardous fee. I said, now, what? So they end up cracking up. And I'm just like, for somebody who got things above their head, okay, somebody at their neck every time they wake up, y'all sure are doing a lot of comfortable laughing. Y'all sure are giggling a lot for people who are trying to, escape killers and snakes and stuff. But I digress. So they get back to the house. Don't you know? I say, don't you know when they got to the house and they're walking up the porch steps? What's right there, y'all? Dead pigeons on the porch. Baby, I would have been gone. I would have been gone because, and the pigeons are a symbol of what they were before they crossed. So while they were still crossing before they got into the organization, they were referred to as pigeons. But then once they got into the organization, they were eagles. So dead pigeons, baby, 2 and 2, the math was mathing, baby. The math was human calculator right here. Ding, ding, ding. I know the answer. That's supposed to be us. I'm finna go. Somebody trying to kill us. They trying to call us dead pigeons, bitch, at the plantation. Nope. It wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. But anyway, they get in the house and they trying to figure out what's going on. Don't you know Mitch is out there in the window just lurking, watching they every move? I said, Mitch, you be Mitchell. Now I'm not gonna lie to y'all. At first glance, when we first came on, we first saw Mitch. I thought he was the granddaddy from 17 again. I was looking too fast. That ain't my fine man over there. That ain't him. Anyway, so while he's lurking, don't you know somebody came and whacked him upside the head and killed him right there on the porch? I'm like, this is too much happening in the world. This is just too much for me. So while they're trying to get their thoughts together, they hear a noise, okay? They hear a noise upstairs, and they're thinking somebody's in the house. Now, somebody is in the house, but the noise that they're hearing is not because of somebody, but they go upstairs, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Y'all remember that window that Juice Door left open? Yeah, It was hitting against the wall because of the wind, and they all looking at her like, girl, you had one job. And don't you know, count how many times I said don't you know in this whole video. But anyway, don't you know they ran out without closing the window? I'm like, y'all all in there now, because the reason why she didn't close it was because it was hard for only her to close it by herself. Well, you got your other 3 friends now. Why y'all didn't close it? Never mind. So they go back downstairs trying to regroup and figure out what the heck is going on. And then Kiera gets a message from Mitch. Hey, baby, I miss you. Come meet me by the river. Come meet you by the river? No. No. So, what happened? Oh, yeah, sorry. So, she was about to go meet him, but then Simone was like, girl, let me go talk to him. No, whatever. And so, they let Simone go out there by herself. Do they like each other? Because if it were me and my girls, like, think of y'all's homeboys, homegirls. Like, no. Y'all know Mitch is crazy, okay? He keeps confronting y'all. He put his hands on Kiera, grabbed her up, called y'all all out y'all's names, threatening y'all in front of so many people. And y'all know y'all got somebody throwing pigeons and stuff. Now, at this point, because Mitch is here and they realize Mitch was at the same place they were, they automatically assume that this is Mitch doing these things to them because he's mad at Kiera or whatever. So, but still, if somebody putting snakes in y'all bed and welcoming y'all home with dead pigeons on your porch and putting worms in your Chinese bowl and possibly poisoning Drew Sador, almost killing her, and bleaching your clothes and running you off the road at the plantation, it's too many red flags. And why are we still trying to figure out the game plan? Baby, game is over. But anyway, so Simone was like, listen, ain't nobody scared of Mitch. Let me go handle him, okay? And they said, okay, girl. Okay, said, girl, they let Simona just go out there by herself. And don't you know, because Mitch is dead, we know that. She goes out there and she's talking her stuff. I'm trying to curse. She's talking her stuff and whack, she gets knocked out and she gets stabbed. I'm like, baby, what? Y'all, when she started getting stabbed, I was like, not Simona. But then they're like, okay, she's taking too long. And don't you know, Kiera went to the bathroom, or she went to go take a shower, or whatever. And Drew and Latoya, they're like, okay, what's taking Simona so long? Let's go. Don't you know? I say, don't you know? Wait, I'm missing something. I'm not really missing too much though. Oh yeah. So Kiera went to the bathroom and all three of them went out to the woods to see what was going on. And Drew was gonna go one way while Latoya and Simona went the other way. And that's when they black car finally went off. Like, y'all know black people don't split up. Well, y'all been splitting up this whole time. What's different now? But whatever. Then they get back in the house, and while we were in the house with Kiera Sheard, we saw somebody was up in there. They walked right past the camera, baby. I got so scared. They saved the scariest parts for the last 30 minutes, y'all. I was scared. I was so scared. But anyway, so they come back, and then that's when Simona goes out and she gets stabbed. And then Drew and Latoya, they go out, and baby. No, Kiera goes out. Sorry. Kiera goes, she's like, listen, Mitch is my problem. I gotta go face him for myself. So she goes out, and then she gets suffocated, and then, you know, one by one they all get trapped. Okay, so then we get to this area, and they're all tied up, and they're, you know, got tape over their mouths, and the person who's been doing this is confronting them, basically saying, y'all ain't real sisters, y'all know what it's like to be a sister. And she's going one by one, and you ain't right, okay? You turned your back on Simona, treating her like she ain't nothing. Simona, the whole reason why y'all in this situation is because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Kiera or Cassandra, but Kiera, baby, everybody and their mama knew Mitch wasn't worth a nothing, okay? He wasn't worth nothing. So you the reason why they keep getting cussed out by Mitch. And you, Drew Sidora, you want to call yourself a sister, but all you do is borrow money from your friends and claim it as charity. What kind of sister is that? Y'all didn't even stick up for the one person who was trying to be a true sister to y'all, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So she's going off, okay? And I'm just like, so now we're trying to figure out, okay, well, we know it's not Mitch. Who is it? So the two main people was the girl who got kicked out and Jody. Because, again, we didn't see, like, no funeral. There was no, like, confirmation that Jody was indeed dead. So this could have been a whole thing for Jody to get revenge because they had her go out. I don't even know what Jody's reasoning would have been. But, you know, Jody was a main thing, and it would have been a good plot twist. But, you know, someone was like, listen, you talking all this noise, but you ain't showing your face. Like, show your face. Who are you? And she took off the mask, and they're like, Brienne? And everybody on Twitter was like, girl, who is Brienne? Everybody was like, who is Brienne? Because, and they said her name, but so many things have happened, and she was only in there for a quick second. So I'm like, who was Brienne? And then we remember, yes, she was the girl who got kicked out. So the whole reason why she's doing this is because she's salty 15 years later that she got kicked offline and none of her sisters came to her defense and backed her up. And she felt like, you know, they didn't deserve it and she deserved it, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So then she goes into detail about what happened that night in question when Jody disappeared. So, because of course, how would she know what was going on when she got kicked out, right? So she went off to the river because she knew that's where they was going to go for the final initiation process. And, you know, she was there under the water that whole time, and she swam to where they was, boop, 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 boop. And then she grabbed Jody by the ankles and, you know, put her in a chokehold, killed her, and then she just kept swimming. And I'm just like, girl, what kind of lungs do you have to be hiding out in the water, swimming, choke somebody, and swim back? Baby, what? Are you part mermaid? Because ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way. Are you part crawfish? No, ain't no way you held your breath that long. But whatever. So she did all that, and she, you know, was explaining her reasoning as to why she did that. Baby, Brienne was looking crazy. She was looking like I got the bike holiday. Baby, did y'all see her? But let me not talk too much about her. She might pop up. But anyway, so she had them get up and, you know, kind of recreate that night. So she had them lined up and blindfolded, and she took them to, are they in the exact same place or just a similar place? Whatever. She had them in a body of water and blah, blah, blah. So she was like, I'm gonna make y'all feel what I feel, okay? Alone, miserable, boom, boom, boom. So remember the very first night when all this happened with Jody dying, we realized Cassandra can't swim, okay? Kiara's character can't swim. So she was like, I want y'all to see what it's like losing a sister or something crazy like that. And she was like, Kiara, jump in the river. I said, ooh. And they was like, girl, don't you jump in no river. Don't you do that. You know you can't swim. You know you can't swim. Don't do that. She's not doing it. And they was like, either she jumps in or I'm shooting y'all. So what y'all want to do? And Kiara was like, baby, I'm going to jump in. I said, well, great. And they're trying to tell her, look, listen, we're not going along with this. Don't you do it. We finna fight you. She had the gun. Who you gonna fight? I said, y'all better bag up because she ain't want to play with. And so Kiara, she ends up jumping into the river. And they're like, no, because she can't swim, baby. She can't swim. And Brienne was like, if any one of y'all try and go save her, I'ma shoot you and her. I said, ooh, bye, Kiara. Because you ain't finna shoot me. You ain't finna shoot me, baby. I'm so sorry. I did nothing. But whatever. So she said something slick. And then, boom. Who pops up, baby, to save the day and whacks her into the river or whatever? Kiara. She was like, I took 12 years of swimming lessons, bitch. I said, yeah. Okay. But basically the movie ends with, you know, them, you know, reconciling and everything's all good. And then we fast forward and LaToya Luckett gave birth to this baby doll. Baby, that baby was not moving. That was their baby doll. And, you know, they're all like, yes. And then Simona comes, and we find out that LaToya named the baby Jody Simone. How cute. And boom, that's how the movie ends. But, baby, what did y'all think? That movie was really, really good. Now, I'm going to watch it again. I got the Lifetime app, so I think I'm going to watch it again. But, honey, did y'all see it coming? I think a lot of people suspected it was her. But a lot of people thought it was Jody. Could have been Mitch. It could have been anybody, okay? But I like the way it went down. But Lifetime has been killing it with the movie, so I'm excited to see what we get to watch next. But this was a fun movie to watch, and it was a fun movie to review, and I hope y'all enjoyed this review. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can be notified when I drop a video. And leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite part of the movie was, okay? But until then, I love y'all. Bye!